let's take an infotainment tour, shall we? Vehicle status. We've got tire pressure, which is right here. And then I've got the option to add to driver display. And then in the event you, let's say, get new tires or you have a patch done or something like that, you would relearn the tire pressure here. I can add it to the driver display, and all we got to do there is press this, and now that's just going to be there. And then I can remove from display, and that's how we do that. So anytime you see this add to driver display, you'll know you can add whatever is indicated somewhere to the driver's display. Energy info, how much to precondition the car, how much is the battery using to move the vehicle, and how much is climate control affecting what's going on. That's what these three things mean. You can also add this to driver display if you click through. Energy efficiency. This is trip total, average, regeneration. I'll show you an active one of these on a trip. And in the event you want that, you can add to driver display. This is one I would recommend you add if you're interested during a long trip as to what your metrics look like. Under energy info, that's it. Next, we go to trip. These are your trip meters. I have one, if you'll notice, that is the life of the vehicle. And this is my lifetime efficiency, 3.7 miles per kilowatt hour. My last trip, which is just 1,100 miles, is currently 2.7 miles per kilowatt hour. You can add your trip meters to the driver display in the event you'd like, and there's where you would reset them. Current trip, this is that exact same data, but it's going to give you a time here as well. It shows distance driven, electrical economy, and the time elapsed. You can add that to your driver's display. Those are your trip meter. This is under vehicle status, and these are it's just going to show you individual tires and then energy usage and energy efficiency in the event you click in on these. So this is just another way to look at that. But the next thing I want to show you is this item right here. And this is also another customizable window. I typically have my Apple CarPlay content right here. And then over here, I always have the tire pressure. But once again, you can switch from audio, navigation, or tire pressure. And then in the event, let's say you used navigation, you could put everything you wanted just in this one screen to where you could use this screen as like a default over here. Now over here on the main display, you have some options, and they are going to be with this button right here. So if you press this button right here, it's going to change from your maps to another version of the maps to your adaptive cruise, and then this is the default. So that's this button here, and you can adjust your driver display. The Elite will have more options, but this is the touring model, so I'm just going to go through these. It'll be mostly relevant for every trim. And you can tell me the difference if you have an Elite down below. So we did vehicle status, and we got through all of these. Next is Google Assistant, and that's exactly what Google Assistant is. So I can cancel this, and there are a lot of different things you can do. Hey Google, enable fart mode.
Happy to oblige.
You can ask for directions here, you can change some of your settings, and you can access that through this. Also, hey Google, how much is 24 times 24?
24 times 24 is 576.
And you can also adjust things like the climate and things like that through Google Assistant. So many options here. I can make a whole video on that. If you want that, let me know. Next, you have the Play Store. And this would be an app store for your Honda Prologue. In the event you don't use CarPlay or Android Auto, this is where you would find some of the other things. You're not going to have video. This car does not have video, but it does have things like Waze, and it has music options, SoundCloud, whatever you're using. ParkWiz, I'm not in an urban area, so I have no idea what this is. I'm not also in Singapore. Texaco, I have no idea why these would be helpful, but they are here and you can get them. You can search for apps if they're not suggested here, right here in the search. And then you've also got your different settings and what apps. See, my apps, I've got the Google Automotive Keyboard, Google Automotive App Host, Google Assistant in car, and I also have Spotify, but I've never used Spotify, the app version. I can show it to you here. There's my Spotify app. I don't use that because I use CarPlay, and we'll get to CarPlay in just a minute. So that's your Play Store. If there are apps you'd like to get, you can get them there. Charging. Next, charge. When plugged in, your vehicle will charge to 75%. If you click on this, you can charge to this. There's also a scheduler here. I don't use this scheduler because I have not found it to be accurate. But once again, I'm not using any of this. You can, though, however, precondition your cabin to a certain temperature by a certain time, and in the event this works for you, and it does work, then that's great. But I just use charge now, and my setting is 75%. You can set this to whatever you want. I don't recommend going over 80 in this car ever for any reason, but that's just my personal recommendation. Next, schedule. You can select a schedule. When you schedule, you can charge during off-peak times at lower cost. Pre-warm, pre-cool. Once again, I don't have any of this stuff created because I haven't found the scheduling to be beneficial for me. I have solar on my house, so I'm not getting a lot of benefits here when it comes to that. Also, my power is rated at the exact same price all day long. And that's the charging. Now, in the event you are charging, you would stop your charging right here when you click through. But this is also really important. The settings, this settings over here, let's click on the settings. Notifications, home charge location, that would show you your address. Notifications, charge status feedback. It does send me charge completed in my Honda app when I set this because I have it turned on. Charge cord unplugged alert, I don't have that turned on. Charge power loss alert, I have that turned on. I haven't experienced that yet. Fast charge prep. This is how you get ready to fast charge your vehicle, and if you don't do this in the winter, that's when you get those slow speeds. So if you get in your vehicle and you plan on charging the vehicle later in that day or on that trip and it's cold, you want to do this. Fast charge prep. Preconditioning temperature, mine's set at 72. Preferred charge times. Once again, I don't have that enabled, but you can set these here and disable charging at different times. That's this settings under your charging. And so in the event you need a fast charge prep, you go to these settings right here. Let's go back home. Apple CarPlay, if you're familiar with that, this will be familiar. Once again, we'll get into that in a minute. Car settings, connections. Here's how you set that up. You can set up your CarPlay, Android Auto, your Wi-Fi, or your Wi-Fi hotspot here. Vehicle, audio settings. Sound. Here's your equalizer. I've got all mine turned down a little bit. I'm a professional audio engineer and I don't have any recommendations for anyone because sound preference is subjective. This is what I've done. You've got an equalizer and you also have fade and balance. You can adjust that here under sound. That's under audio settings, sound. And then I can manage radio favorites here. I've never touched this. I have no idea how this works, but here they are. If you want to manage your radio favorites, you can do that here. Valet mode. There's a valet mode. I do not have that turned on, but in the event you want to set that, it's under settings, vehicle. Teen driver. Set a key with custom restrictions and alerts that can help your teenager make good driving decisions. In the event you want to set that up, you could do that here. Rear seat reminder. I have that turned off. I've found that to be annoying. In the event you've got a little one, that can be extremely helpful. Buckle to drive. I also have that turned off. It's nice that you can even do that. Climate and air quality. Heated seats on startup. Auto defog. Auto rear defog. So in the event you're not satisfied with the way your climate's working, maybe come in here to climate and air quality and hit your auto defog off, and you may experience some better results as far as where your airflow is going if you don't like the way that it's going. Auto fan speed I have set to medium. You can change all that here. Collision and detection systems. Adaptive Cruise Go notifier, I have that turned on. Lane change alert, I have that turned on. This is your front pedestrian braking. This is your automatic emergency braking. Alert and brake. I have it turned on. It seems to work well. And then you've got rear cross traffic braking. This is what people are having problems with. You can switch this however you'd like. Park assist with braking. You can turn it on, turn it off. Once again, I have mine turned on. They are annoying, but I have them turned on. Comfort and convenience. Chime volume. Here's where you would adjust that. Power rear gate opening. I have mine set to custom. If you have it set to maximum, you can't make an adjustment when you get out of the car and you go to the back. In order to make adjustments, you have to have custom turned on. Hands-free exterior storage access. That is the swipe underneath with the foot. I have open only. Rain sensing wipers. Those are on for me. Auto wipe in reverse gear. I have that turned off, but in the event you wanted to do that, you can do that. Lighting. Ambient lighting. I've got a Sabrina Carpenter kind of theme we're going right now. Vehicle locator lights, I have those on. Exit lighting, 30 seconds. If you wonder why your car, when you walk away, the lights are still on, that's why. You can turn that off right here if you want to. Next, power door locks, auto door lock, auto door unlock, delayed door lock. So, auto door unlock. This is what happens when you put it in park. There's your auto door locks. You can have a delayed door lock, which I currently don't have on, but here's your door lock options. Remote lock, unlock, and start. Bunch of options here. Remote unlock, light feedback. That's going to show you when you unlock. Remote lock feedback. I've got lights and horn. You can make those changes if your neighborhood would require such changes. Remote door unlock. So this is the remote key, all doors. Remote start, auto heated seats, definitely. Remote window operation. That is press the lock button once and it unlocks the doors. Press and hold the unlock button a second time right after you press it the first time and all the windows will begin to lower, which is kind of neat, so I leave that on. Passive door unlock. Choose which doors unlock when you press the unlock button on the exterior driver door handle. So I have this set to all doors because, yes, absolutely. Passive door unlock is exterior driver door handle. So this is the button on the handle, and this is the key fob. Passive door lock. When on, your vehicle will automatically lock. When all doors are closed, you leave the vehicle and take the remote key with you. So, there's your walkaway lock. I currently don't have that on. I think this is cool, but I leave mine off because I leave mine unlocked in the garage. Key left in vehicle reminder, off. Key removed from vehicle alert, off. I try to keep some of these alerts, but in the event you want to, when on, the horn will beep 3 times if you turn off your vehicle and leave the remote key inside. Key removed from vehicle alert. When on, the horn will beep 3 times if the remote key is removed from the vehicle while it's running. And those are your remote lock, unlock, and start options under settings, vehicle, seating position, seat entry memory, seat exit memory. So in the event you want those to work, you can turn them on here, and if they don't work, like I said in my first video, it's probably because I have mine turned off. Transport mode. When on, the vehicle will disable comfort and convenience features to reduce power use. This helps preserve the 12-volt battery during vehicle storage and transportation. Got to tow your car? Transport mode might be helpful. That is settings, vehicle. Settings, notifications. It's just going to show the recent notifications that you've had. Apps. Radio, Wi-Fi hotspot, charging. You can look at all your options under radio here. Wi-Fi hotspot, same thing. And also down here, version 1.0. And then it's got all the other apps you might have and what's going on with them, so you can peruse that as needed. Permission manager, control access to your data. Default apps, unused apps. I got 6 unused apps. There they are. Obviously, I'm not using them, but in the event you wanted to know how to optimize some of your screen and your data, this is where you would go, under apps, settings, apps, date, time. You can change your format, you can change your time zone. So in the event your time is wrong and you need to fix it, you can manually adjust that here. But otherwise, if you leave it where it is, it's just going to use the network provided time and date. Display. Mode auto. So this is day and night mode. I've got mine to auto, so when it gets dark, it will switch to night mode, and during the day, it stays in daytime mode. Instrument cluster. You can use the speed sign, turn-by-turn graphics, or traffic sign recognition. Obviously, I have all of those on. In the event you're in a map, your turn-by-turn graphics would be here. Your speed sign is this. And that's display. Now we go to sounds. Maximum volume at startup. This is where you make adjustments if you think things are too loud or not loud enough. Set the maximum volume for audio when your vehicle starts. After startup, you can increase the volume manually. If you increase the volume above your set startup limit, it will reset at the next startup. Audible touch feedback. That's the button, that's that noise when I press. That's settings. Sounds. Profiles and accounts. This is the Google account you have connected to your vehicle. I'm not going to go in there, but you can make those adjustments as needed right there. Privacy. GM privacy statement, app permissions, data sharing, ads, and legal. Accessibility. Caption preferences I have off, and that's all that's listed here. Assistant and voice. Allow the Assistant app to access the screen contents as text. Use screenshot. Allow the Assist app to access an image of the screen. And then you can go into your settings. For home and work, if you wanted to change those, that would be under the Assistant and voice settings. And that's where you would do that. You can turn on this. You can allow personal results. And I have a lot of stuff allowed, except for vehicle notifications. So that's Assistant and voice under settings. Security. Profile lock, none. Clear credentials. And security update. So obviously it's been a while since there's been a security update, and I'm okay with that. I'm not going to try to do an update while I'm doing a tutorial. System. Language. Keyboard and speech. Autofill service. I'm not going to go in there because it'll display my email. Keyboard. Google Automotive Keyboard. And then text-to-speech output. You can have it change the way it talks to you there. So that's keyboard and speech under system, under settings. Units, we can go to metric if we want to. It'd be real confusing for a lot of us. Reset options. If I wanted to reset everything, I can reset the vehicle settings, I can erase the infotainment, I can reset the app preferences, and I can restart the vehicle in safe mode. TTY mode I have off. If you're a TTY user, this will make sense to you. Storage. Music and audio, not using much. Other apps, not using much. System, probably can't change that. So I've got a very limited amount of stuff going on, but in the event you wanted to see how your storage was looking, you can look there. Android 12 is under About, and it's going to tell you the version. Looks to me like that same October 5th, 23 is when that was done. And then legal information, you can check there. And once again, we're under settings, system. And then updates. Updates in history. Check for updates. Looks like the last time it checked was here, and it was installed. And I guess we can check for software updates. I didn't plan on doing that, but we can find out. And there we have it. No updates available for your vehicle. So I got one of the first Prologues in the eastern United States, and they checked it on the day I bought the car, and there haven't been any more. So, updates. There are no updates. Preferences. It looks like you can change those if you want to. And we are under updates, under settings, and then Google, which I'm sure you can manage activity controls, ads, Google Assistant, passwords, and you can send feedback here. And I think we've made it through settings, which was the longest one out of all of them. Ambient lighting, pretty straightforward. You can make those selections. Like I said, there's all these different colors. I've got my Sabrina Carpenter theme turned on, and I'm perfectly happy with it so far. Climate. This is auto. You can sync your two temperatures or not. I currently have sync turned off, so I just make those adjustments manually at the same time. But if my wife gets in the car, we can both be comfortable and not have to worry about diving into this climate area to make that fix. I've also, since I've got auto set, my car is warmed up, and even though it's 39 degrees outside, the AC is currently running. So there's your climate button. You can make these changes on the screen as well as down below. Wi-Fi hotspot. There it is. I've never used it, but in the event you wanted to, you can change the settings there. That's a fun password to memorize. And now we're done with the first page. This is CarPlay, which it matches the icon. This is navigation. This is your music, what's currently playing. Once again, I've got Apple CarPlay selected. Remember, we covered this, which is fully customizable, both here and here. And then here is controls. You've got remote 1 for your garage door, power window lockout, traction control, auto high beam, front fog lights, and park assist. So in the event you wanted to turn off park assist there are more controls. Doors and windows, power window lockout I have off, rear power gate height, I've got custom, which this is another place you can access that if you don't want to go through the settings menu. For lights, I've got fog lights off, auto high beams on, and headlights on auto. This is the most hands-off setting, and I haven't made any changes to this since I bought the vehicle. I've never turned these on, and these two autos are good enough for me. But you can make those changes here. Drive and park. There's your one pedal driving settings, which are obviously accessible on the main screen. If you go back, one pedal driving settings are right here, so you don't have to go all the way into the menu to get there. You can also access it here. Blind zone steering assist. I've got that on. When on, the steering wheel will gently turn to help your vehicle stay in the current lane. So I've got that on. Traction control is on. It's also, once again, that's that toggle right there. And then universal remotes. This is where you would add your garage remote. And I've already done that with mine. It's very convenient. And like I said, it's programmed already, remote 1. I have a short on that you can watch if you'd like. Then we've covered pretty much everything here. This is notifications. This is those lights. Again, that's my remote 1 for the garage door. I actually have an iPhone 15 Pro, but I've renamed it this in the past at some point. So when I got the new phone, I kept the name. I'm sure it doesn't matter, but that's the phone that you're currently having, and that's the reception here. Your car's reception is here. It looks like it's using your location. That's what that is. And then obviously time and temperature. Let's go to the next page. Audio. We've been here before. This is not the only way to get here, but that's the easiest way, is audio there. Podcasts, news. These are apps I've downloaded from the App Store, which I believe were default installed for me. Here's maps. So navigation, once again, that's also here. It's the same thing. So this is your navigation, or you can use this. In fact, I've never pressed that button until right now. Your phone, you can set that up here. It has everything, and obviously it's moved to my Apple CarPlay, which I have. This is my Spotify here, and then obviously I've got my full Apple CarPlay, and all of the apps that are relevant and usable in the Prologue are here on my Apple CarPlay. This is the home button, and then you actually can do a triple set here, which it does where I'm at, my map, and my music. But I'm sure you're all familiar with Apple CarPlay for those that use it. Controls, once again, we've gone through that. That's here. So that is the menu and the infotainment screen in the Honda Prologue. If I missed something or I got something wrong, let me know down below.